Hello, everyone. My name is Ross Frushtick. Today I'm joined by Javier of Digital Sun Studios, and we are going to check out a game called Moonlighter. I briefly forgot the name of the game, even though it's on the screen right there, but it's called Moonlighter. Very cool concept behind the game, yeah, we're going to check it out today. If you dig RPGs, roguelikes, and I guess capitalism, seems like a good game.
Yeah, there is a great deal of that.
So talk to me a bit about Moonlighter, and maybe we'll jump in and start taking a look at it.
Yeah, well, Moonlighter, I would say that it tries to answer the question of where does the typical RPG shopkeeper gets their items from.
Yes.
So the player plays as Will, which is a shopkeeper in the town of Rinoka that makes a living by going into the dungeons, trying to gather some items, and then selling them at the shop.
Right. I feel like ordinarily everyone just assumes, well, they have, some guy they work with, maybe they go to the supermarket, but no, they're doing the hard work themselves.
Yeah, they moonlight, they go during the night, yeah.
Yes, indeed. So this is Will that we're seeing here.
Yeah, he's tired.
He seems very tired. And the animation is obviously gorgeous. So this is all obviously hand-drawn, kind of pixelated, but very detailed.
It is a crazy amount of work.
Yeah.
It is a crazy amount of work, the kind of love or artists put into the pixel art. It surprised me. And yeah, I mean, we liked it. We did this from the beginning. And I think we just are getting slightly better over time. We recently changed, for example, the running animation, and we are a little obsessed about the quality of pixel art.
Yeah, you guys have been in development for about 2 years now, that's correct?
Yeah, the game has been for 2 years.
And how far along is it? How far is left to go now?
A couple of months. We are aiming for release later this year, at the end of the year, which is already a delay from what we promised on the Kickstarter.
Sure.
But a small delay. So
Yes.
we're okay with it.
So you've got a broom here.
Yeah. You start with a broom. The game starts when Will is having like a hard time because it's very hard to make a living from the dungeons.
Of course.
And at the same time, he's like curious about the mystery of why there are some interdimensional dungeons you can get wealth from, which is something everybody stopped asking about.
Sure.
It's like a town close to a gold mine or something like that.
Okay.
And they're running out of gold. The items are more and more scarce, and the town is dying slowly. So the game starts when Will tries to sort out the mystery of the dungeons, and at the same time bring back Rinoka, the town, to life. So that's where the game begins, and this is like an introduction to make the player comfortable with the mechanics. You can open the chest when you kill the enemies. You can roll. You have a weapon for now, which is a broom, but you have several others as the game goes. And we are supposed to die over here, which is why this is
you're getting
so
wrecked.
Yeah, and there we go.
I always want to try and survive, but it never works out for me.
Yeah, I have lasted for like 20 seconds, and that's like a record.
Well, you've got some Tetraminos there on the ground. Little Tetris blocks, right?
Yeah. You know, we have quite a lot of like small references here and there from other games. Even some of the customers of the shop.
Oh, really?
Like indirect references to some games.
Oh, cool.
Beyond legal trouble.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
We have a lot of that in Moonlighter. Yeah, so you get picked up by this grandpa from the village that feels sorrow for Will, and now he's gonna tell him a little about the dungeons and about how to make a living better.
Yeah. So he's been doing it the wrong way, essentially.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So he's gonna get a better weapon, and he's gonna be told about what his grandfather, who was like one of the founders of the village and the founder of the shop, which is the older shop in town, the oldest shop in town. And yeah, it's like the beginning of the adventure. Will realizing that he needs to go farther, he needs to go deeper. Yeah.
Yes. You're telling me a broom is not the ideal weapon.
Apparently it's not.
That is surprising.
But you can upgrade your broom.
Okay, good.
You can,
cool.
You can invest in your broom, and you could probably beat the game with your broom if you're brave enough.
Is it one of those things where it's like the worst weapon in the game, and then if you spend enough time, it becomes one of the best?
Exactly. Yeah, we expect some speedrunners with the game with the broom without upgrading.
Broom percent finish.
Yeah, we hope that will happen. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
He's getting a sword now, which is not so funny, but it's actually quite useful to have swords.
Yes. So Grandpa hooked us up.
Yeah, and now he tells him some secrets about how to make money from the items he has.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so you're saying if he runs a successful shop, that will bring life back to the town.
Yeah, the idea is that he starts to go deeper and deeper into the dungeons. There are some bosses, obviously, that you need to defeat. Then slowly you you unveil the mystery of the dungeons, or
Sure.
why there are some interdimensional gates over there. And as Will does that, the town is gonna come back to life. More people are gonna come, more customers. You're gonna grow your shop. You're gonna extend your shop. And so, as business is good, Runoka is brought back to life, and eventually will fulfill his dream of being a hero, because he's okay being a shopkeeper, but
Sure.
he dreams of something else.
So where does he, if you want to upgrade weapons, where are you getting the weapons that you're upgrading if you're selling everything?
Yeah, we'll see right now. You can move around the town in Runoka, and we have a blacksmith to craft new weapons.
Oh, I
and
see.
to upgrade the weapons. We also have a witch to enchant the weapons and craft potions, something like that. We have a rival merchant. This is capitalism in the end.
Oh, yes.
So he's gonna sell you items, but very, very, very expensive.
Yes. The Joja Mart, if you will.
Yeah. He puts fancy names. We created a random generator of fancy names. for
Oh,
items,
that's
so,
funny.
yeah, so you learn how to sell some items. You can sell items at the right price, and the customers will take them. You can sell them overpriced, and the market reacts to that. So you always need to pay attention to your merchant book and see what's the current, the last price you set on the items.
Sure.
And if you sell only one type of item, they're gonna lower. So here we're walking around in Runoka, which is like a hub. Runoka acts like a hub for us. You have all the NPCs. They're gonna have backstories to them, and they're gonna evolve as Will evolves in the game. This is the blacksmith. The blacksmith is called the Vulcan's Forge, and you can craft more swords and shields. You can craft big swords like double-handed swords, spears. You have fists, you have gloves, and you have obviously bows.
Sure.
Yeah, those are very expensive. So I'm not sure we will have time to craft one of those, but you really need those if you want to beat all the different enemies and all the different bosses that you're gonna find.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the witch, as we call him, the wooden hat. She has a cat with a potion on the tail, which is a detail I love. And you can craft like HP potions, and you can also enchant the same items you have, but you will, they will make more damage, or the armors will be better.
Sure.
Yeah. You also have like different armors to protect yourself, but those are incredibly hard to produce because you have to create every animation with Will on different armors. But we have quite a few of those, so we are doing the work. Yeah.
You mean the visual artistry on Will himself?
Yeah, for each piece of the armor and all the animations for all of the weapons. So it's quite a lot of work. Yeah. Yeah, but basically Runoka is like a small commercial town.
Yep.
That's not living the best moment, and Will is gonna be, the savior, turning Runoka back to the glory days. Yeah, that's the door above that we saw, the big door seal. Nobody has ever trespassed it.
Oh, okay.
And it's obviously some mystery lies behind it, which we are not gonna talk about right now.
So in we go. We're in the dungeon now. So are these dungeons randomly generated, or how are they sort of?
Yeah, every time Will enters the dungeon, they are randomly generated. We are still part of the tutorial, so we're trying still to introduce the player to the concept. So we're gonna find the special room right now, which is it's scripted.
Yep.
You always are gonna walk into this room, but the dungeons are generated pretty much in the like of the Binding of Isaac or Rogue Legacy, which are big influences for us. We are pretty good at playing the game already, but the game is quite hard. We don't want to make like an easy to beat game. You're gonna need to push your head towards the wall a few times before you get good at it, and you craft weapons to get better. So it's all about going back again over and over to the dungeons, getting more gold and crafting more items. So Will, after talking to the grandpa and getting the basics of his business, he finds the notes of an ancient merchant. It's more like an adventure.
Sure.
We call him Crazy Pit. So he was already trying to solve the mystery of the dungeons 70 years ago.
Yeah.
And he finds the remains of Crazy Pit, and he will find some items which are key for the roguelike mechanic of the game. So he's gonna find a pendant and a mirror that is gonna allow him to go back to the town with the items that he is finding, with more items. So it's gonna be key for him to make actually advances in the game.
I see.
Actually, this is like what detonates the adventure of Will, and what makes him able to go over and over to the dungeons, actually get better, actually beat the bosses, and be the first one that's gonna really go deeper into the 4 different dungeons, and eventually, go to the 5th door and what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Essentially, so if you die, are you losing everything, or do you have to walk to the exit to carry stuff out, or how does that work?
You can die, but if you die, you only keep the items on the first line.
Oh, I see.
And if you use the pendant, and you pay 500 coins of gold, because everything works on gold and Moonlighter, with gold and Moonlighter, you can go back to the town and sell the items that you're carrying.
Oh, okay.
So there is a lot in Moonlighter about when is the right time to cut my losses, go back to town and sell stuff.
Yes.
So
but it's going to cost you, so you got to make sure you have at least 500 coins.
Exactly, it's worth it.
Yeah. So it's nighttime now.
We have a day and night cycle.
I see.
So we're gonna go to sleep because you can only open the shop during the day. During the night you can do different stuff, and during the night is the best time to go to the dungeons because the monsters are gonna be stronger and you're gonna have better loot over there.
I see.
So what we're gonna do is sell some items and see if we can at least we can go back to dungeons and try to find some elements. Yeah, pretty much like in Dark Souls to upgrade some of the weapons. And yeah, depending on how long and how good we are in this dungeon, we might even see the boss of the first dungeon.
The games like Rogue Legacy, there was always like very rare rooms where like crazy stuff would happen in those rooms. Is that stuff you guys are planning too?
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely. Yeah, we have like special rooms with different mechanics, like maybe time. You have a specific amount of time, and you need to kill as much enemies as you want, so you can get a better loot, and the chest in the room will be upgrading the more you beat it. And we have things like healing places, some mini games, some strange altars, and we as we had in the Kickstarter campaign, we're gonna add some secret bosses.
Cool.
And some like side quests and secondary mechanics that will make the game funnier and richer, which is the idea. Yeah, so we're selling some items, trying to find the right price, and you have like your merchant notebook when you can find all the last items you sell there, so you can remember easier the last price. But the market is gonna evolve, so sometimes you need to keep the items and sell them when there is a scarcity of the item.
Sure.
So it's gonna be more valuable.
So where are you keeping items if you're not selling them?
Yeah, you have a chest on your shop.
I see.
And you can store them to wait for better times to sell that.
Understood.
Yeah, so we're gonna craft some potions on the witch to make sure that this run we can survive a little longer. There are 3 floors on each dungeon, so we're gonna try to survive for 3 floors and make it to the boss. This version of the game, this build of the game, is slightly easier than it's gonna be.
Sure.
Because we wanted to make sure we can showcase around, because it's hard even for us.
Yeah.
So we need to make it a little easier to make sure that we can show the game. Otherwise, we will be just dying over and over.
Yes, that would not be as interesting.
Yeah, I think so. So.
What platforms are you guys looking at?
Well, it's been announced already on PC, like Linux and Mac too, and Xbox and PlayStation.
Cool.
We would love to see it on Switch.
Yep.
Maybe even portable devices, but that's not announced and not confirmed.
Got it.
We will love it, but we'll see. But PlayStation, Xbox, and PC is confirmed.
Cool.
Yep. So let's see if in this round we can survive and get to the lower floors. Yeah.
So do you have? So can you move on if like you didn't want to kill everyone, or?
Yes, you can move on some of the rooms, but not on every room. On some of the rooms, the doors will be closed, and you can only leave if you kill all the enemies.
Got it.
But if we make every room like that, the game is just too hard.
Yep.
And the idea is not only to go deeper. The idea is also to find the better chest.
Yes.
You cannot open the chest if you don't kill the enemies.
Sure.
And I would say that each time you enter the dungeons, it's all about optimizing your time. Being as efficient as possible to gain as much as possible from it, and going back richer than you entered.
Are the dungeons themed differently?
Yes, we have 4 different themes. The first one is we call it the Golem Dungeon, but it's basically like classic dungeon underground.
Yes,
with
indeed.
Walls. We have a forest.
Cool.
We have 2 more dungeons that I'm not sure we can reveal the other dungeons. We cannot reveal them visually, but they will be interesting and pretty aggressive. Yeah, because it's related to the.
Yes.
I mean, right now it looks like a medieval fantasy game, but there are some other elements to it.
What is this thing?
Yeah, this is actually a glitch inside the dungeons, because the dungeons are interdimensional, so you can find sometimes rooms from the other.
So when you say glitch, you don't mean in the game?
No, not in the game. It's an interdimensional glitch.
Yes, because that'd be a very impressive glitch.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So you can sort of get a preview of what's coming up.
Exactly, and those rooms will be harder.
Yeah.
Actually, than the other one. So if you get one of those, you really need to think if it's worth getting into it or not. Actually, if we see the room, we can see that it's glitched because there are like small things going on. Yeah, and if you open them out, you can see that it's something weird about the room.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so you find these special types of rooms over and over.
I'm getting Fez flashbacks right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is, for example, a room with a closer. Let's see if we can survive, because that combination of enemies is pretty annoying. One of them is gonna jump into you when he gets close, and the other one has a shield, so it requires some skill. Thankfully, we're the developers, so we will survive.
What are these bars that they're dropping? Is that just like a resource?
Yeah, that's items. That's items you can sell. Items are used to sell, and they are also used to craft. So, for example, if you want to craft a bow, which we will probably try to craft something, you need some metals and you need some specific golem, special, like runes.
Yeah.
So you need items both for selling them and to improve your gear.
I see.
Yeah. So let's see if we can find the fancy door that represents. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, very nice.
The one on the top is the. We should kill those slimes because they are pretty easy to
Oh,
kill.
no, the treasure.
Yeah, we lost the treasure, and you can craft potions with that. So, we haven't been lucky. Anyway, we have 3 potions. We will make it.
So the leveling up mechanic is entirely gear based.
Of course, because
Yes.
if you think about it, it's a game about a shopkeeper. It's a
Yes.
game about wheels. So we didn't want any experience mechanic.
Of course.
We think it's much more interesting if everything is around gold.
Yeah.
So you really need gold, and it makes the game much more fun.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys played Dragon Quest Builder.
I know the game, but I haven't played it.
It's similar in the sense of his whole idea is that he just wants to build, and you don't get any experience from monsters.
yeah.
It's just about building your town up. So this is like an interesting another way to look at it.
Yeah, that was in the ideas of the game from the first day.
Yeah.
Because we wanted everything to, we want to create that kind of gold fever.
Yeah.
Because
Well, and the title alone is it's all about his career. It's making money when you can.
Exactly. Yeah, but in the end, gold is a mean in the game. It's
Yeah.
not like he doesn't really want to get rich. That's not the idea.
Sure.
The idea is to get gold, to actually be strong enough to to solve the mystery. That's
Yeah.
That's
He
eventually
wants
the
to
fun.
be, and he wants to be a hero.
He
you
wants
said.
to be a hero. Yeah, he wants to.
But maybe he should just be happy being a shopkeeper.
Okay, maybe you can do that in the game, but we think that will be less fun. Hey, you can always do that.
You just be happy being yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes play Civilization and I'm happy dying because
Yes.
I just like to have my city and it's beautiful and I'm fine with it.
Exactly.
Okay, this is a healing place,
Oh,
which is
cool.
very handy. It will make us survive longer. It's
Nice.
like an interdimensional onsen.
And
know,
can
the,
you? Yes,
the Japanese
of course.
bath. Is like
I'm
something
aware
like
of it.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can just keep going back to that, or does it?
Yeah, no, but it ends. So
Oh.
you can only, I think you can heal up to 50 HP or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember the
And then
exact
it
amount.
stops, yeah.
Yeah, then it stops. Yeah. We should save our
So you
HP
can
or
just
something.
roll right over those holes, huh?
Yeah, you can roll over the holes. And in the harder dungeons later, this is a place, a special place with notes from Chrissy Pit, which
Yeah.
are gonna tell the players some more context about the game.
Sure.
And the findings this explorer did back in the day. So yeah, it's one of it's one of the sources we have for showing the player more lore. Of
Yeah.
the game. There is quite a lot of lore in the game. It doesn't look like that, but the game has it's pretty intensive on the history.
So one of the things that I know you mentioned Rogue Legacy earlier. One of the things that Rogue Legacy added later on in its cycle, I think it was actually post-release, was some sort of element where, because obviously with these games where you're constantly upgrading all your gear, it gets to a certain point where everything becomes kind of trivial because you're just like super overpowered.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that's sort of competing against that to add some challenge later on?
Yeah, we have 2 things. One obviously is the scaling of the difficulty is gonna get even harder. When
Sure.
you get more gear, it's gonna be much harder. And when you beat the game, and we think the game will be like from 8 to 12 hours.
Oh,
maybe
wow, okay.
For an average user, and maybe 20 hours if you are not that good. So
What if I'm great?
if you're great, we don't know. We don't know. We're really looking forward to see speedrunners of the game
Yeah.
because it's hard for us.
Okay.
Even for us, it's hard. So, but we are also planning to add a hardcore mode. And I
Cool.
think Moonlighter in a hardcore mode is gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
It's
for
gonna-
sure.
It's gonna be crazy. It's very, very, yeah. It's gonna be really challenging.
Yeah. This is a very intense room you found yourself
I think we might not be able to.
That's okay.
We should heal. We should heal right now. Because
This might be, if you end up dying, this might be a good place to stop anyway, because I don't want to show too much of the game. But this has been very cool. I'm impressed by his skills. He's really trying.
Yeah. Because otherwise we won't be able. We wanted to show the boss if there's time, but this has really been unlucky because this is a very.
This
hard
is
one.
a natural. I want to see an honest demo. I don't want to see like pre-made for GDC.
Yeah.
I want an honest portrayal of what the game is like, and here we're seeing it. This
Yeah,
intense
it's Moonlighter
battle. He's
prepared to
gonna
die
make it.
edition.
He's
yeah.
gonna make it though. I believe in him. You've got 36 health.
Okay. Oh, there we go. There we go.
He's a cake.
Yeah, it will be even harder because you shouldn't be able really to beat the 3rd floor enemies with a normal sword.
Sure.
But that room is hard. That
Of
room
course.
is hard on its own. Yeah, so we made it. We should be very close to the boss. There it is. There it is. Yeah, we made it.
And he fell off the cliff. 18 health left.
Yeah.
And he's got some little oozy guys.
So we're gonna see a glimpse of the boss, and then we're gonna die because we only have 18 HP.
Yeah, that's not gonna work out. So he's this globby mess thing.
I like it. This is a tense demo. I really like it.
Oh my god. So you've got some sort of almost bullet helly survival moments here, trying to dodge.
And we have some pixelated
Oh,
X over here, and there
crushed.
we go.
That is a very good stopping point.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for showing the game off.
Thanks to you.
Terrific. Really looks super awesome. And when can people expect to play it?
At the end of this year.
Okay.
Yeah, around, let's say, last quarter.
People are going to hold you to that.
I know, that's why
you could say
I've been
next year if you want to.
I've been thinking. No.
Okay.
We're aiming for
end of
the
this
end
year.
of this year. Yeah.
Okay.
The game is in a very good state already, and things are looking good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
No.